Okay. So, first of all, whenever we're entering in information into AutoCAD, we want to always manually punch in our information. So let's say I want to put a angle here, and I want this angle to be 20 degrees, and I want my line to be 6 units long here. So I'm moving my mouse until I see exactly 20 degrees. I think, all right, that's the dimension I want. I want my line to go right there. So I click there, and I think I have a angle here that's 20 degrees. But when I go and dimension it, I learn that I'm actually at 20 and some change. So the difference is, the distinction is, if I want to draw my second line here, what I want to do is put in my first measurement here. So in this case, I'll say 6, and then I'm going to tab over. And then here I want to make sure I actually push in 20 degrees and then enter. And I zoom in, and you can see there's actually a pretty big difference between manually punching versus clicking, even though CAD told me that it was 20 degrees before I clicked. I didn't manually punch that in. So when I go and check my second line, it is in fact exactly 20 degrees. So again, just as we get more and more precise drawings, want to make sure that you're manually punching in your dimensions versus you want to be less and less dependent on the mouse, basically, when punching stuff in. Okay, next thing we need to know. So let's say we have a rectangle, and our rectangle will be known as 4 by 3. So we've punched in our typical stuff that's 4 by 3. But let's say I have a situation where I have a rectangle. I know my rectangle is maybe one side of the rectangle is 4.5, and I know the area. The area is 12. So the area is the area inside our triangle here. So what we can actually do is I'm going to set my base point, and you'll notice looking at here, we have done what we've always done here, which is specify our next corner point, or you can see it says or, and we have 3 other options here: area, dimensions, or rotation. So I'm going to hit A for area. I said my area was 12, so I'm going to punch in 12 here. Hit enter. And then I'm going to punch in a width of 4.5. And voila, it calculates the exact length that I need in order to give me a rectangle that has an area of 12. And if you click on your rectangle and look at your properties here, there's actually a section here that says what the area is. So it's actually telling you my area is 12. So I can verify that. Okay, the only other thing you need to know today is, let's say I need to draw a rectangle, but the rectangle is rotated a bit. We don't really have the capability of doing that. We were able to do rotated squares, kind of, by doing 4-sided polygons, right? So you remember this. So here I can draw a 4-sided polygon. And that's great for squares, but I need to do a rotated rectangle. And I want that rectangle to be stacked right on top of this rectangle here. So I'm going to go rectangle. I'm going to select my base point. And you'll notice where we had area, we also have another one here for rotation. So we have a capital R there, so I can hit R for rotation. And now you'll notice it's already starting to rotate my triangle here, or rectangle. So we're going to punch in an angle. So I'll do my 20 degrees again for an angle. And then you'll notice now, as I start to draw my rectangle, I can move my mouse around any way I want, and it's going to automatically draw that rotated at 20 degrees. So I'll do my same 4 by 3 as I did before, or didn't do before, but Now I have a perfect rectangle. It's 4 by 3. Now dimensioning this, we'll have to do an aligned dimension, since all of these are a bit crooked here. Oh, here we go. So dimension. So when you punch in your dimensions, you can see it does do them a little bit differently here. You can see I have a 4 by 3. It's not really the line that you kind of expect it to be. But the assignment will kind of go over that as well. Look at our actual dimensions are a bit more obvious. So anyway, that was a rotated rectangle. Let's see if I can do another one here. Solid R for rotate. I'll do, say, 15 degrees this time. And then if I hit D for dimensions, now we can do length of 4, 3. And now if I, mess that up here. Okay. So now if I dimension this, we get our dimensions of 4 by 3. So I don't think I explained that very well. So you'll notice for both ones I did dimensions of 4 by 3, but this one I punched in the dimensions as I normally would. So it drew my rectangle between the 2 points that I hit. So my first point was down here, my second point was up here, and so it put a rectangle in place of where that would go. The second one that I did, which was kind of a more traditional 4 by 3 rectangle that we're used to, just rotated. I did rectangle, I selected my base point, I set in my rotation angle, so I just did a rotate of 15 degrees. And the difference there was I hit D for dimensions, and this will actually allow you to punch in the dimensions of your rectangle versus positioning it on where your second point would be. So anyway, kind of a subtle distinction, but still something you need to know. So let us know if there's any questions on that.